Absorbent and yellow and porous is he. SpongeBob.
SpongeBob
Square
SquarePants.
Pants.
If nautical
SpongeBob
nonsense is something you
SquarePants.
wish.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Here we go.
SpongeBob SquarePants. SpongeBob
Live. We're live in
SquarePants.
5, 4, 3.
Dun, 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 dun.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 27 of the Nightly Nonsense podcast. I'm your host, Adam. I'm here with the boys, Chris and Dave. Boys,
What
how we
up?
doing? How was everyone's weekends? Looks like we had a couple eventful weekends, some productive weekends. Let's get
Yeah.
into it.
Let's get into it. Chris, tell us about your productive weekend.
Oh, it was productive.
I loved getting those pictures from you. You were like,
Yeah.
Dave, look, or videos. You were like, Dave, look what I did today.
Well, it was a spin on the traditional St. Patrick's Day, driving the snakes out of Ireland. Instead, we just drove the clutter out of our garage. So
Okay.
Okay.
full reset, full garage reset, pulled everything out, cleaned it all up, went out, got shelves and like organized it, hung all the utensils, or not utensils, all the
Utensils.
tools and stuff up on the wall. Looks really
You
good.
were hanging up all your forks and knives in your garage.
It was a lot of work though, but very satisfying. A nice little. It took us up until probably 7 p.m. on Sunday, but not a lot of fun. But it was worth it in the end.
Now,
you
how long will it stay looking pretty like that?
I think that's the thing is like because we've done this before, but we didn't
Yep.
necessarily organize. We just cleaned, and so now I think it's like really set up in a system where like everything has a place. So it's much easier to keep it all organized because all you have to do is put it right back in its place,
Yep.
and then you're good.
Smart man. You're a real smart man. And I saw where you like made yourself a little workbench also.
Yeah. Cleaned up the
Yeah.
tools, quick access for things we need. Maybe start doing
Yep.
some projects. Who knows?
Rubbermaids. There were Rubbermaid containers.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Quality product.
yeah.
Shout out Rubbermaid.
Sponsor of the pod, I think. But
Maybe.
no. Yeah.
We play our
And-
cards right.
We play.
Plager's my plastic provider.
Exactly. We have a plastic provider.
Yeah.
You think that they provide,
We got a guy.
Shout out
think that-
Select Plastics.
You think they provide the plastic to Rubbermaid?
No.
Do you
don't
think
so?
they give you the tools to become your own boss? Like Enterprise Rent-A-Car?
Is that
mean,
what Enterprise does?
They give you the
Enterprise?
tools to be your own boss, and they let you go pro in something other than sports.
sponsor of the pod, Enterprise Rent-A-Car? You were just start naming off companies. Everybody sponsors this podcast.
I'm thinking of a commercial in which this guy like just starts chewing out his boss and then hangs up on him and he's like, "Thank God I have this Enterprise car. They give me the tools to be my own boss."
It's like work at Enterprise. We give you the tools to be your own boss. I don't even know if that was their tagline or if that's just like, I think it's in TED. It's like, I'm just going to get a nice job at Enterprise Rent-A-Car because, they give you the tools to be your own boss.
I think it was a slogan before they had like, we'll pick you up, which,
Yeah.
hold on, we got to talk about that. Does Enterprise actually pick you up if you need a ride?
I mean, probably not anymore, but I think they used to.
I mean, because
They gotta be careful with some of these slogans because I can just call Hammer like, "Hey, I need a ride." They're like, "Are you gonna rent a car?" No, but you said you'd pick me up.
Like I said, I think maybe they used to before the rental car game got as big as it is now, but
Or like before Uber and Lyft, kind of.
Yeah.
It was like their thing. It's like, we'll pick you up.
I
I don't
don't
know.
know.
We
They were
can't-
Uber and Lyft before Uber and Lyft. If that's truly what it was.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or was that taxis? Who knows?
Who knows? We got really off topic there.
Might have been.
That's what I was gonna
taxis.
say because I gotta hear about this parade.
Yeah, so I was in a parade. I was, you talked about whatever you talked about the tradition of getting snakes out of Ireland. I've never heard that tradition, and I'm an Irish guy, which that's, I guess, a story for another day. Well, no, actually, I needed to hear that. What is the story behind the snakes out of Ireland?
Isn't that what St. Patrick's Day is based on? Like St.
I don't
Patrick
think.
driving the snakes out of Ireland?
I thought
thought-
it was just
Based on
Green.
St. Patrick. St. Patrick was like a
a
guy at the Roman Catholic Church who was spreading Christianity to Ireland or something.
Sure.
Yeah, you got to give us a backstory.
All right, yeah. I got you.
This is nightly nonsense.
story
and this is
of-
good nonsense.
The story of St. Patrick is that he drove the snakes out of Ireland. There's no actual, there wasn't actual snakes. I think it was like a metaphor
For the
or a
devil.
simile. Yeah, for the devil. But that is what St. Patrick's Day is about.
Oh, okay.
Who were the
Alright.
snakes?
I'm pretty
devil.
sure.
Unholy people. Well, either way. All right.
You
so
you talk,
were
I'll
doing-
look it up.
Yeah, you were doing that tradition. I was doing the American tradition of drinking and going to a parade. And I was actually in the parade on a float. And so, all right, the best part about a parade, in my experience going to parades, is like sitting on the side, standing on the side, yelling for beads or whatever. Well, before this parade started, they told us you can't throw beads because it's a liability issue. Like you're going to hurt people.
Classic
Yeah.
lawyer speak.
Yeah, I know. And so they're like, you can't throw beads. You know, you could hurt the kids. You could poke somebody's eye out. So if you want to hand out beads, you have to get off the float when we come to a stop and you can go and hand them out along the guardrail. Well, the combination of me having a couple to drink and the fact that I'm like, these people want beads. I don't think they care if I'm chucking beads at them. I was like,
You just gotta
Screw
give the
the-
people what they want.
screw those rules. I'm throwing the dang beads. So I start chucking beads. Well, all I know is I think that if I put my mind to it, I could probably make a major league roster with the smoke that I was throwing these beads with. Because I
It's
was
so-
chucking them.
It's so funny that you say that, but they were really probably being slung at like 55 miles per hour.
Well, and it's beads, so the like wind resistance. I mean, they were coming in at probably a lot slower than 55. If I was throwing beads 55, then yeah,
Maybe you
someone's
should have a
losing it.
shot actually.
Yeah,
And someone's getting an eye out.
yeah. So I started throwing beads. Well, I was trying to throw them like high and stuff, so they were loopy, so I wouldn't hurt
Get the
anybody.
people in the back.
Yeah. Well, I ended up on a couple where I held on to it too long or something, and the
Spiked
next thing,
it.
yeah, next thing you know, they're flying out of my hand, and
Mm.
I hit a poor woman in the face, and like I felt bad. She was kind of like stunned. She was an older lady, and she was with her husband. It looked like, and
And he didn't make the play?
I mean,
It's on
these
him,
were some
honestly.
old folks. I don't think they even saw him coming. Like, and
She looked at you wrong.
she looked at me. I pointed at her. She thought I was just pointing at her, and I chucked those beads, and they hit her smack in between the eyes.
That's
But-
good accuracy.
Yeah, well, the accuracy was definitely there, and yeah. So I had so much fun chucking beads, though. Like I was like, this is awesome.
Just
Have y'all
slinging
ever-
them.
Yeah.
You
y'all
also
ever-
just belong in the spotlight.
well, I
You
don't know
deserve
about
to be center of attention at all times.
that. Well,
A natural born star.
Well, well, I was, every time all the people were cheering, obviously, because they were at a parade, and I kept yelling out, "Thank you! I'm glad you all came out for me today.
There you
Support David Fisher, presidency 2024." Like I was being a fool. I was yelling that stuff out. Then I
That-
saw
go. That was the adult beverages talking.
and then I saw an old neighbor of my parents, and he yelled my name out, and I was like, I was like, "What up, dude?" and like yelling at him, and I'm like, "Oh god."
Can you imagine if that lady you hit in the face had her mouth open and it just
killed her? I just kill her right there. You talk about a liability.
Little do you know she's actually an ex-magician's assistant, so then she just starts pulling them and they go on forever.
Exactly. But yeah, no, there could have been. I could see the liability issues, but I didn't sign anything. I signed a waiver for my safety. I didn't sign any waivers for anybody else's safety.
Okay.
There's no
Right.
expectation of safety in public.
No,
I could make a case.
assumption of the risk.
Yeah. Just
You
by
go to a
being there.
parade where they're chucking beads.
Right.
You assume the
It
risk.
doesn't even have to be a parade. You can just be walking down the street and we'll get hit with beads.
Or a
Exactly.
car.
You going outside at your own risk.
Yeah, or bird, or something.
You can't be talking about birds. All right. According to the legend, the religious man known as St. Patrick traveled from Britain to Ireland to do missionary work for the 5th century. In the 5th century. While he was there, he was attacked by a group of snakes. Serpents are a symbol of the devil in the Christian Bible, so St. Patrick's cleansed the Emerald Isle of evil by shooting every legless reptile he could find into the ocean. Thus, the origins of St. Patrick's Day. Here's where it gets interesting.
Mm.
There's a
That
lot.
wasn't interesting.
There's a
Yeah.
lot going around that says this is a fanciful tale and that it's just a metaphor for driving evil out. But It's important to note that Ireland is one of the few places in the world that doesn't have snakes.
Ooh.
Just saying.
Oh,
Kinda
Just
weird.
sounds like I need to move to Ireland. I freaking hate snakes.
Well, I think if we combine, so I was kind of right about him being a missionary. You were right about him driving out the snakes. I bet when he showed up that they had parades in the streets for this guy, and that's why we have parades on
Ah,
St. Patrick's Day.
I love that. Listen,
And it
together,
all comes
Dave,
full
our
circle.
brains, unstoppable.
Unstoppable. Absolutely unstoppable. Speaking of, have you guys ever been in a parade?
I have.
Um, what are you laughing about?
Just the way he was like, I have. I was hoping he would expand, but go
Yeah,
ahead.
I would also like to hear the story behind that.
Oh, I've been in the 4th of July parade twice just because when Mr. Campbell was in VP needing bodies, I was on their float with them. So they
Yeah.
always do the Men in Black was their float, and they just spray the audience with water guns. So one year I was an alien, so all I was doing was getting sprayed with water guns, so that wasn't great. And the next year I was an actual Man in Black, so I was just in the audience just pumping water at people.
That
In
sounds
the
like a
audience.
blast.
On the float or in the audience?
I was on the float, but I was off the float walking aside just pumping water into the audience.
Is it considered an audience or a crowd? Is there a difference?
I don't know. That's the question.
I
I'm
mean,
just asking
they're-
all the hard-hitting questions.
they're
right now.
watching
you threw me
something.
for a loop when you used the word audience, but I think you're right. I mean, I don't think that's incorrect.
They're watching something, like they're a crowd gathered to watch something. But like you said, is there an actual different? What makes a crowd and an audience an audience? What's the
I don't know. Do you consider
the
like if there's a
differentiating
brawl
factor?
that breaks out in the hallways at school and a bunch of people are watching? Is that considered an audience?
Yeah,
It could-
because
could be
it's
considered
an
a
audience. I think it's both. I think they're interchangeable.
Maybe it
could be a
depends on the
gathering.
performer.
A gathering? I don't know.
Neither do
But,
I. Listen, we're
I
not
mean-
gonna have all the answers to everything. So
I thought your
When
guys'
you were-
brains were unstoppable.
When you were pumping water in these people's faces, you hit anybody in the eye? You think there was some liability there?
No, they were
No.
begging for it.
Was it hot?
People, yeah, it was 4th of July.
Yeah. There you go.
The people
I
were
also
wanting the
think I
water.
have been in a parade.
Yeah, what was parade were you in?
I'm pretty sure like in 4th grade at like the end of the school year, like all the classes got to like walk through the hallways and like the teachers like looked at us and were like cheering for us. So yeah.
Counts.
That does count.
Counts.
You know, they used to throw candy in parades back in the day. I don't think they do that anymore.
I would always do
Baldwin
like
had
the
an elite parade.
Yeah, I
Mm.
would always do the Baldwin parade. And yeah, they would be slinging candy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
That
remember
world
that.
is just gone. That doesn't exist anymore.
You know, allergies to stuff. Can't be
Budget
kid-
cuts.
Inflation. Have you
I
seen
mean, candy prices. Are you kidding me?
Have you seen the
I've
price
seen
of
those
the Tootsie
prices.
Roll? Oh man. Well, I don't know. Speaking of kids parades, look, I'm just my segues tonight.
Speaking
yeah,
of-
let's speak
Well,
about it.
Yeah. Do you guys remember during COVID when they had the parades for like kids' birthdays and stuff? And like I just think about COVID sometimes and that 2020, 2021.
It
And
wasn't
the-
even just kids, because like we have a bunch of Chris and I, all of our neighbors are like old retired people, and like one of them, like all of his like grandkids and like his kids and everything, like yeah, they drove by for like his 80th birthday or whatever. And
Yeah,
it's just like a
the-
car, and they just drive by and just like, "Ooh, it's your birthday," and then just
That
go home.
actually makes a lot more sense. Like for an old guy or an old lady, that makes sense. For the kids, it's just like get on Call of Duty and just hang out and play games with each other. Quit being weird. Like why are we doing these
Yeah.
parades? What are we
Just
doing?
Yeah.
go outside and hang out with your friends. I don't care if it's
Just
COVID.
be
Outside.
a guy.
It's
Be a
fine.
normal guy. Buy a Snickers.
But you couldn't throw candy or beads in those parades because they had COVID infection all over them
It's true.
or something. I don't know. I think back at COVID things and I'm like, that's just asinine that we were doing that.
I don't even know if
But-
it existed at this point.
Crazy
Yeah, I
times.
blocked all that out.
I think it was a fever dream.
I
we
really
all
don't
had.
think those 2 years counted.
No.
Like
Like
even in like my aging, like I feel like those just like I'm 2 years younger than what my actual age is because those years didn't count because I literally just sat inside, did nothing.
yeah. We went from 2019 to 2022. There was no 2020 and 2021.
I agree.
Anyway, that's
Heard it here
crazy.
first.
We should all
There you
get
go.
tax
Rewriting
refunds
history.
for that.
We should what?
We should get tax refunds for those years. We shouldn't have had to pay any taxes.
Oh, there you go.
We should.
That's fine.
They should just give us checks. I think is what they should do.
Well, they did do that. They
Those
did do that.
existed.
And they gave us tax cuts too, kind of.
Thanks a lot. That's why
Anyway.
we got.
It wasn't enough.
inflation.
Anyway, I think I've run out of transitions for one night.
So
I just transitioned the hell out of that segment.
I'll
Sure.
transition, yeah. So while you were up on that parade, on that float, chucking beads, were you slurping brews as well?
Yeah. Yeah.
was
it
the
Bruce.
on float brew slurp allowed?
Well, yes, but we couldn't actively show that we were consuming beer, so we had to drink in green solo cups.
Okay. Yeah.
That's fine.
Yep. So
Where was
yeah.
the stash though? How what was the access to the stash like?
Oh, it was hidden. It was hidden in a cooler, like up in the front of the float, kind of. There was like almost this like compartment, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And there were a couple coolers in there, but yeah, the Guinnesses and Busch Lights were flowing. I had a couple of both.
Do you think that St. Patrick's Day is like a top tier holiday to be drinking? Like, do you
Yeah.
put it with the 4th of July and like Mardi Gras in that tier level?
I think so.
I think so, yeah. I mean, it's a holiday in America that's pretty much centered around drinking beer.
That's true.
I mean, so it has to be one of those.
I,
But
I definitely think it's up there.
yeah, Mardi Gras too. Mardi Gras, and they're pretty close
And
to
New
each
Year's.
other.
New Year's is up there.
Yeah.
So I honestly think, as far as like boozing in one day goes, I might put Patty's Day above 4th of July, just because 4th of July is more like a weekend than just like, because it's not
Sure.
always like on 4th of July, you know?
Right. So
Mhm.
you have to pace yourself more because
Yeah,
it's less condensed.
It's more of a commitment, whereas Mardi
Right.
Gras and St. Patty's, it's a sprint.
That's fair.
Yeah. And you're shooting fireworks on 4th of July, and I'm not looking to kill anybody, so I kind of lay low sometimes on the alcohol consumption so that I can shoot fireworks responsibly.
Would you trade St. Patrick's Day for Thursday and Friday off this week to watch basketball?
100%.
I would too. I think those
Oh.
should be national holidays.
Oh my gosh.
There's just so much. I need to watch all of it.
Yeah, don't tell anybody, but I think even though this is going to go on the internet, I have court in the morning. I
Don't
have
tell
court-
anyone.
I have court in the morning in the Lake of the Ozarks at 9 o'clock, which I'm going to bill a lot of hours driving back and forth, but I'll be done by probably like 1 o'clock. So because I'm billing all those hours, I think I'm just going to go watch basketball when I get back.
That sounds like a fantastic plan, and I fully support that.
I think that's what I'm going to do.
That sounds
Are
fair
you
to me.
are you using any apps to track your mileage or anything like that when you're driving to these
Or do
courts?
Do you just eyeball
I
it?
no, I have a spreadsheet because I get reimbursed for mileage from work.
I know. So like you just like take it, like you look at it and then you get in the office and you put it in an Excel sheet, or how does it work?
No, I use Google Maps and I do the
You
distance.
plan
from
out
my...
the routes.
Yep, exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So there's an app called Stride that when you get into your car, when the Bluetooth connects to your car, it'll pop you up a notification. You click on that and it'll log all your mileage for you. Could be something to look into.
And can you explain why I should do that?
What if you have to take an alternate route? So what you planned on Google Maps isn't
Right.
end up what
You're right.
the route you take.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
And you just eliminate any, maybe you forgot or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
I could. I
Hey, I'm
could.
just trying to help here, man. I don't know.
What's the name of the app?
It's called Stride.
Okay. Sponsor of the pod?
Maybe.
Yeah. Well,
At
there you
this
go.
point,
Not yet, but they could be.
Yeah, no, I could do that. I hear that you can get like a tax. We're back on taxes. I hear you can get like a tax deduction for
yeah,
your mileage.
you
Yeah.
can. You haven't been taking advantage of that?
No, because
That's
I
a real
get
shame.
well, I get reimbursed above the I mean, well, it's the federal, whatever the number is for reimbursement on
Like
driving.
53 cents per mile or something
No,
like that.
67 now.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know. Inflation working in my favor.
Sure.
Except here,
but I
it's
think
also
you
just
can-
on the gas itself, so it all comes full circle.
Exactly.
I think if you do have a full accounting of your mileage though, and your work mileage supersedes your personal mileage, you can write off the depreciation on your vehicle as well.
Interesting.
Yeah. I
I'll
don't
have
know.
to
There's
look into
so
that.
much that goes into taxes. Like I want to get like really good at it and like because we just take the standard deduction most of the time. But I just know there's so many ways you can work the system and like
Yeah.
up it that
Yeah.
I just don't. You got to learn how to take advantage of it.
Well, don't be saying anything that could incriminate you at any time.
No,
As
I'm talking about completely legal things. Like
Yeah.
like Alexa's company will match donations that you make. So, but it would still count as our donation. So like if we make a donation, the company matches it, then we get to write off the match as well on our taxes. And there's just so many like little loopholes and stuff that you can take advantage of if you're smart about it. You have to be like really organized and stuff, obviously,
Yep.
and keep track of everything. But that's how they get you. They expect you not to be organized and not to look into it.
And then when the
Take
time
that
comes, they
standard.
just want you to be like, I just want this done with. So you just like click all the things.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yep.
Sure, I owe $1,000. Take my money.
Yeah. All right. You're gonna give me $700 back. Sure. I'm not worried about it or whatever it
Yep.
is. You know.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Well, there you go.
Tax season is relevant. You know what else is also relevant? Basketball season, March
Whoop, whoop.
Madness season. Should we talk a little bit about it?
I think we have to.
Nah, let's skip it.
It's not that big. It's not that big.
I
Who do you guys have
love.
winning? First
I
of all,
love March Madness.
let's talk about Final Fours and then let's talk about winners.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I
Final
also love
Four.
March Madness. Adam, from your words
Adam
earlier,
doesn't.
it doesn't seem like you're a big fan of it, which
And I wasn't on when you guys were talking about it, but I knew that about Adam, which is crazy to me.
So I do like March Madness. I don't love making a bracket because then I find myself having rooting interest in teams that I don't really like. So that's why now I make a bracket in like 30 seconds. I don't look at it again. And I just at the very end, I'm like, let's see how I did, because it doesn't give me any sway in any game. Like I'm watching the game for what it is. I have no pull in either direction.
that's fair. I can see that.
But that
That's
almost
kind
makes
of
me
like why I
more-
never pick a team for footballs, because I just get to watch every game and
Yeah.
I get to enjoy it. But I also have other ulterior motives there too.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I like making the bracket so that I do have a rooting interest
Yeah.
in every game. It draws me in, I guess.
Well, and
So
that goes to
for
my point of
me,
not
that's
making
like-
multiple brackets.
That's where my argument was.
One
So
bracket, though.
not that it, so it does pull you in, but like, who's a college program that you just don't like?
I'm not a big Kentucky guy just because I don't like John Calipari.
So let's say it's a year that Kentucky's really good and you have them going to like your Elite Eight because that's just how good of a team they are. Then you're rooting for a team you don't like because you want your bracket to succeed. Whereas like you would ultimately love if they got eliminated in the round of 32.
Yeah.
So if you're just watching it for watching it, you don't have that bracket sway.
Or you just would love for them to get upset in the first round by University of Oakland.
If
I
you
also
have it,
feel like
that'd be
there's
great.
like no, you're never really disappointed when your bracket isn't right, because it's just statistically like you're not
Yeah.
going to be that right. So like if I get one wrong, I feel like that wouldn't bother me, because I'd be like, all right, well, I hope they win.
So it's also changed because like, so at my last job, we did a bracket challenge and there was 14 people in the company. So like, I was like, ooh, I could legitimately win this and get
Right.
like a couple $100. So
Yep.
like, whereas now the only one I do is the one through Mr. Campbell's work. And there's like 1,000 entries in it. So like statistically, I
I'm in
don't
that one.
like realistically, I don't think I'm going to win. So I'm not as invested because I'm just like, if I doubt I'll win. There's so many people. But
well,
Are you
I
a
do-
part of the Campbell family? It sounds like it.
I do a lot with the Campbells.
He does a
You
lot.
might be
good
Campbell
people.
adjacent.
Campbell adjacent.
They're good people.
Yeah, I'm in that one. So I make one bracket, but I enter it in. I
Same,
go all in
same.
on everything.
Yeah.
So I'm in that one with the Campbells also, or the Campbell company. And then I'm in two with my dad's old company. I'm in one with my company, one with my college friends, and I think that's it. But all the same bracket.
See, that you have to do that. I've never understood people that make like multiple different brackets. And it's like,
Exactly.
what are you rooting for?
Because then it's like, yeah, it's you can't do that. But my final, you want so Chris, you said final.
Yeah,
fours.
final
Chris,
four.
Give us
Unless
yours.
you want to start with like Elite Eight, or do
No.
you think we should start?
Do you have any? Does anyone have any big upsets?
Yeah.
I have
round one?
San Diego State in my final four.
Oh, wow. So I have a
mean,
lot. I feel
they're a 5.
yeah.
So like that'd be. I have them losing round 1. If that makes you feel any better.
I have them winning round 1, but then I have them going to the Sweet 16, but losing
you
to
have 'em-
UConn.
Do you have? I guess we're just going through all of our brackets at this point. Do you have Auburn beating Yale, or is Yale upsetting Auburn?
Yale.
So that's
Yale.
why you have San Diego State advancing to the next round. Whereas like I have the reverse upset. So I have Auburn going because I have UAB beating San Diego State.
So I'm
Interesting.
big on early round upsets, but late
Same.
round
Chalk.
like, not chalk. I don't have chalk. I only have
Oh, I
one
do.
number 1 in my final 4, but I don't have like outlandish. Like they're all 3 or better.
So my final four is San Diego State, North Carolina, Marquette, Purdue, and I have Purdue winning it all.
Okay.
So a lot of chalk, but I have a lot of upsets early on.
Me too.
Like I have Northwestern upsetting UConn.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay. Well, I have like first round upsets. So like I have Drake is a 10 over a 7. I have Duquesne, which is 11 over a 6. Yale 13. Adam, just in us talking, and I have an explanation for this that's going to be
Okay.
outlandish. In us talking, I know you have Iowa State winning it all, don't you?
I do.
I have them losing in the first round, and here's why. So
Crumble under pressure.
a 15 has won in the first round the last 4 years. So 4 years in a row that a 15's upset a 2. I looked at all of the 15-2 matchups. Iowa State is a big choke artist of a school. Also, schools that usually pull off those upsets early are schools that shoot really well from 3-point. And the Jackrabbits of South Dakota are an elite 3-point shooting team. So I feel like I could pick that one. And then further, I originally had Iowa State winning that game, but then losing to Drake in the second round. So I was like, all right, if I'm going to pick a 15 to win, that just one makes the most sense for me.
Not McNeese over Gonzaga.
That's fair. Like I don't hate your justification, but like that's the beauty of March Madness. Like you can talk like in theory, like in the regular season, if you for some reason early in the year non-conference San Diego State's playing Iowa State, you have Iowa State absolutely mollywhopping San Diego,
South Dakota.
Either way, you have Iowa State absolutely mollywhopping, wiping the floor, however you want to say it. But because it's March Madness, you can talk yourself into all of these little things. Did you guys watch that video I sent you where the guy said he puts $100 on the underdog in every single round of 64 game?
Yeah, and you like will end up making your money back, and then if you get like, there's a good chance you'll end up making money on that.
So like, if you put $100 on this game, which like you might as well put a little money on it because you're projecting it to happen. Like I think I was looking at this earlier, like it's like 2,000 to 1. So like just on that bet alone, you're like almost making your money back.
No, you are making your money back because 100 on 32 games, right?
Yeah.
And so that's
$3,200.
And if you get one,
if you get one of those 15s or a 16 to win, then you almost make your money back on just that bet.
Yeah. And
I have
you know there's going to be more than
upsets.
one. So like,
yeah, those are common.
If you have the funds to do it, like you might as well.
Well, can we do it at a smaller scale? Can I just do it with $10?
Totally. You can do it however you want.
You'd still make your money.
Should we just do $1 on all of them and see what happens?
Just see what happens?
Now we're talking my language.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's a couple of my other big, I have Oakland beating Kentucky just because I don't like Kentucky, and I don't.
I
think
almost look at so many of the upsets more on like if I would have them losing in the second round.
same, because then
Yeah.
you don't feel as bad.
Yeah, it's like,
Picking
oh, it's
it.
just costing me one game.
Yep, exactly.
All I did honestly is I just look at the notable results of like the games they've played, and I based a lot of it off of like for example, Northwestern beat Purdue this year. UConn lost to Kansas. I think Purdue's better than Kansas. And
Yeah.
so if Northwestern can beat Purdue, then they can upset UConn. That's my logic.
Wow, it all follows, and like Adam said, you can justify any pick pretty
You
much.
can
Right.
talk
in
yourself
March
into
Madness.
anything. All
So,
right, Chris, you gave your final four. Dave, who's your final
Yeah,
four?
yeah.
So I got Illinois, North Carolina, Marquette, and Creighton.
And
I got
Dave
Marquette in there, too.
and Chris, who did you have in your final four?
I have San Diego State, Marquette, Purdue, and UNC, I believe.
North Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're only going. So you guys have one consistent team.
Did you say Marquette?
Yeah.
Oh, we have two. North Carolina and Marquette.
Oh.
Both.
And then I don't have none of my. I have Iowa State, Baylor, Houston, and Tennessee.
Wow.
Wow. Dude, I just don't believe in Houston.
I got Houston.
Like I said,
beating
I have
Duke for
no.
losing to
I
Marquette.
have no rhyme. I said earlier, I literally did this in 30 minutes. I just or 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I just click. I don't look back, and I just run with it.
Yeah. No, I mean, you could do that.
The
Yeah.
more, because like so many of these bracket things I'm in, the winner, I like ask them like, what was your rhyme or reason? Is like, I like the colors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when the more I actually do research, those are and like, ooh, I have a good bracket this year. I'll lose like all of my final four teams week one. And like, I hate college basketball, but I love it at the same time.
Yeah.
So who do you have winning it all?
Iweezy State. Shout out Braden.
And who do you have
Over-
winning it all? Yeah, shut up.
Over who? Over who? And then
Non-listener.
Houston.
Houston. I have North Carolina over Creighton.
That's a strong pick.
Who do you have?
Purdue.
Where's,
Oh yeah. And who do you
where's
have them beating?
Creighton?
I have them beating North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
I have
Creighton's
Creighton.
in,
I have
Creighton's in
Creighton
Omaha.
losing. I have Creighton losing round 2.
I'm a big, but see, this is the problem. I'm kind of a Creighton guy, like every year, because I look at them and I'm like, these white dudes can shoot threes. It's unbelievable. And every year they end up sucking.
Yeah.
But I'm riding with them.
They're
Uh,
notoriously sucky
I got them in my
as well.
16, in my Sweet 16.
But yeah,
I'm excited though, guys. It's
Yeah.
it's a fun.
I feel like it's
weekend.
just gotten better and better too. Like I feel like college basketball, especially, like I feel like we've seen more upsets. I feel like a lot of years you go into it and like a lot of people are unanimous on like one team who's
Yeah.
gonna win
Mhm.
it all. Like there really is an odds on favorite. I feel like there has been more disparity in college basketball. Like we have 2 consistent teams throughout all of our final fours, where I feel like there's years in the past where like we could easily have had all 4 of the same teams just
Yep.
because it's March Madness. It's crazy. There was like just teams that were that much better.
Yeah.
There's
you guys
something
ever-
worse than when you're like getting deep in your bracket and you're like, oh shoot, this is starting to look really chalky here.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
something's
I know.
gonna happen. Maybe I should
Have
make
you
some
got-
changes. And then you're like, well, I shouldn't second guess myself. But,
Have you guys ever made a woman's bracket?
Linda tried to get us to do it this year, and I refused.
I did it this year, first time ever.
I've done it one time and I got like 88% of the picks right, because in that one there's usually not as many upsets. It's
exact-
pretty
I
much
know.
like
I picked Iowa. I think I did.
Is it
Oh.
happening at the same time?
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's a shame. They should reschedule that.
Well, I heard that they were talking about doing that. Yeah, I picked Iowa to beat. Mine's real chalky. I think South Carolina. Let's see.
Is that an industry
Yeah.
term?
Chalky?
Yeah.
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 From the context clues I've gathered, that's you're not picking a lot of upsets. You're having a lot of the creme de la
Yeah.
creme rise to the top.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
just picking
I-
favorites.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So
Well,
I have,
industry term, huh?
Iowa over South Carolina, and I believe South Carolina. 37% of brackets on ESPN have South Carolina winning it all, and 28 have Iowa winning it all.
Okay.
And then next is UConn at 4%. So big drop off. If you wanted to know the men's numbers, 24.5% of brackets on ESPN have UConn winning it all, followed by 13.8 have Houston and 10.3 have Purdue.
Okay.
Yep. So
Sounds
there you
fair
go.
to me.
I love it.
Sounds fair.
And we're going to roll this right into Let's Learn Sports, brought to you by Shank It Golf. Shout out Shank It Golf. Shank It Golf. What's the code? Nonsense 15.
It is. It's nonsense 15 at shankitgolf.com.
We're getting into golf season. It's starting to warm up a little bit. Go get you some swag.
Yep.
I got my paint splatter shirt. Wore it to work like 2 weeks ago. I think it's the most compliments I've ever got on a shirt at work. So shout out Shank It Golf.
And they have cool Tiger Woods, not Tiger Woods hats. It's a tiger with the red shirt and black pants on. I got the hat. Also get a lot of compliments on that. So check it out.
There you go. So obviously I said we're going into this. It's on brand. So how we're going to do this is I'm going to have you guys starting with last year. Just keep naming the team that won the national champion. And we're going to see how deep you can get.
Oh no.
Shoot.
And you get 3 strikes. And then if you get a strike, I just tell you who the winner is and we go on to the next year.
Okay.
Dave, I'm gonna need you to carry us here.
Well, here's the fact of the matter is I'm really bad at this because I always seem to like flush it after the like this happens in all sports. Like I can like forget who won the Super Bowl. But no, we're good.
To really see how far we can go, I will give you the 2 teams that played. Because I feel like that'll help you get pretty deep. But once we get into like the early 2000s, like even just knowing what 2 teams played might not do it for you, you know?
Yeah, honestly, all I know is probably the last 2 right now.
Okay. Well, I mean, I do know who won last year because they've been talking about this team a lot going back to back.
Well, then I won't. When you need the 2 teams that played, I'll give you the 2 teams that played. How about that?
Okay.
I like that.
And you get 3 strikes, and the strike, you don't just get to keep guessing on that year. We're just going to give you the answer and then go to the next year.
Got it.
Ready? All right. So last year is UConn.
Correct. Bonus point if you can tell me who they beat.
I think that they beat, well, let's see. So last year was crazy. Not chalky. I think they picked one of Chris's final or beat.
San Diego State.
Yeah. Yep. Last year I had Florida Atlantic in the Final Four also, which is crazy.
2022.
All right, 2022.
Kansas.
It was Kansas.
Over.
Yeah, Kansas over.
Another blue blood.
Not Duke. North
Kind
Carolina.
of like Duke. Yeah.
North Carolina.
UNC.
2021.
Okay. 2021, they didn't in 2020 because of the corona. And this was the first one back.
I feel like it didn't have a lot of hype around it because I think people were just happy to be like out and about again.
I know. Gonzaga is kind of speaking to me.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they've ever gotten over the hump.
Was it Gonzaga Baylor?
I'm going to go Gonzaga because
no, they didn't.
Which we won't guess it
I don't
yet.
think they went. They won though. They won.
Chris, you had the game correct with the 2 teams.
Baylor, Gonzaga. So then Gonzaga didn't win, so it was Baylor.
Okay, I agree because I didn't, like I said, I don't think Gonzaga's gotten over the hump.
No, they have for sure.
Gonzaga has not. I don't think. I don't think they've won. No, so Baylor. I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Baylor won 86-70. Not even close.
Wow. Not close. Okay. Yep.
Okay. And then 2020 was the COVID year. So 2019.
2019, the year I graduated from law school. I'm thinking about where I would have watched the game. Virginia.
Yep.
Okay.
Virginia beat Texas
You just
Tech.
guessed it? Nice.
Nice. Okay.
2018.
2018.
I know we're getting into a realm in which, like, one or two of the next 4 years, Villanova definitely won at least one.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think
The-
they were like, because I remember them being kind of dominant.
yeah, they were good. They have that good. They had Jay Wright was their coach.
But then once we get past 2015, I have absolutely no idea.
Well, 2016 was the year that I graduated from college, and I lived in an apartment, and I had a party, and I watched the game that Villanova won in 2016. But we're on 2018.
18. I'll give you that you are correct. Villanova did win in 2016. That was the game-winning 3 on North Carolina.
And then, but North Carolina won one also in that time period because Dana
has the lip tattoo.
And I know that Villanova didn't go back to back because Chris said that Chris, I think you're right. They won twice.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking Villanova's
Villanova,
2018.
UNC, Villanova.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
So
Villanova 2018, North Carolina 2017, Villanova 2016. We're on a good run, boys.
That's the beginning. That's when I started
now
watching.
Where's the downfall happens?
I have nothing after this though.
Well,
Absolutely.
okay. Well, hold on. So
now you're to 2015.
2015, I lived in that little apartment in. I'm thinking about where I watched the games.
I am too, because I remember 2015 was like the first year that I was fully invested, had the double monitors up,
fully invested,
watching it all. Before that, shoot.
2015.
Let's get the teams.
Yeah.
You are looking at Duke, Wisconsin.
Oh, one Wisconsin. Duke. So it's Duke.
Yep.
Okay.
Easy.
20.
I received a video from Noah Reed, because Noah Reed lived with Plager during that time, and Plager was wearing a Wisconsin jersey during the game. Then after the game was wearing a Duke jersey.
Oh, that's a bad look.
So now you're looking at 2014.
I'm gonna need the teams again.
Connecticut, Kentucky.
Oh shoot. I think it's UConn. I think. Chris.
Sure.
I don't think it was Kentucky.
That is correct. I believe that would have been. No, I don't think that was Kemba. I think that was Shabazz Napier. But yeah, Connecticut. UConn beat Kentucky.
What year were we in 7th grade?
2007.
2007, Florida won.
That is correct.
Bam.
Bam. Okay.
That's all I remember.
But we're in 2013.
Yeah, I know. I just had to get that on the docket.
2013, is that the year that so 2013.
This was a very memorable.
This is when we graduated high school.
This was a very memorable March Madness because
this guy because
of Kevin Ware.
Yeah, Louisville.
That was the guy that broke his leg, Chris, and his bone was sticking out of his leg. You remember that?
Kind of.
Yeah, that was as soon as you said Kevin Ware.
I think my favorite viral internet picture from that was the picture of it was the bone sticking out of the leg, and then someone photoshopped the Lion King, the monkey holding.
Would you say
Simba.
He was worse for wear after that game?
You would definitely say that.
That's bad.
Now we're looking at 2012.
All right. So 2012. We're getting a little long in between Kansas victory. I mean, I feel like
between the legs.
I feel like Kansas wins a good amount. I feel like, or at least is like. I mean,
so this was Kentucky versus Kansas.
Then
in 2012.
The way you said that, Kentucky.
Way to use your context clues.
Yeah,
Hold on,
Kentucky.
hold on.
They have Anthony Davis.
Something's coming to me here, though. Something's coming to me here. Because I do think of the year after Florida won, I think Kansas won. 2008.
I'm sure.
Kansas won.
These
2008.
basement memories are coming back to me right now, dude.
Now, I don't know who won in 09, but I know in 10 and 11, Butler was there because that was when they had Shelvin Mack and Hayward, and Brad Stevens was their coach, and they lost both times.
How can you remember all those names but not remember who won?
Because Butler was sick. It was the fact that they were a little school and they were there.
So because you know that much, I'm not going to tell you obviously who they were playing because that's just going to give it away because you know they didn't win.
Well, Duke won one of them and UConn won one of them, I believe. So that's 2010 and 2011, but I don't know which one was which. Chris, you want to give a guess?
I got nothing. Let's go.
So 2011, who do you think was your champion?
Well, it's Duke or UConn. I think they lost to Duke first on that half-court shot by Hayward. So we'll go Duke 2010, UConn 2011.
That is correct.
All right.
You guys are doing well.
2009 because we got 7 and 8, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're at 2009. And because of how
Come
well
on,
you guys
Chris,
are doing, I'm
get
just
this
going to
together.
tell you, if you ask for the teams, I'm just going to tell you who lost. I'm not going to tell you who they were playing.
Okay. 2009.
2009 was 9th grade,
Yep.
Ninth grade.
which would be freshman year of high school.
Trying to think. It's got to be a
Freshman year of high school, I was hanging out with Jeff Klein a lot.
Technically, that would be because how do they do it? Like, is
They
this
do it
the
on the year that
2024 champion? Like this year?
They do it the year they won.
Okay.
Because yeah. I would think
What was the dude with the plastic face mask?
Tyler Hansborough, North Carolina.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
I
Tyler
think that's what it
Hansborough.
is.
Yeah. Yep.
That
You're
is
right.
correct.
Yep.
Because
2009.
Jeff Klein was crazy about them.
North
Well-
Carolina over Michigan State.
Missouri guy, Poplar Bluff.
And then you got 2008 Kansas. You got 2007 Florida.
Well, and Florida went back to back, so 2006 is Florida also.
That is correct.
2005.
I
2005.
do. Yeah, they did go back to back.
Oh yeah, Joakim Noah was on that team. Billy Donovan was their coach.
2005.
Fifth grade.
Championship game in St. Louis,
Oh,
Missouri.
St. Louis, North Carolina beat Illinois.
Yep. The boys are on a heater.
Fourth grade. We're going back to fourth grade now.
2004. And you guys
This is
haven't
my
gotten
parade
one
year.
wrong.
This is my parade year.
This is when you were in a parade. I don't know this. My luck is running out at this point.
Give us the teams.
The loser was Georgia Tech. What does that
What?
do for you?
Oh my gosh, they've been good at basketball ever
Jarrett Jack on that team.
on Georgia Tech.
Yep.
Am I
didn't even know.
crazy
You're
to
gonna.
think that Syracuse won one of these years in the early 2000s?
So if you know anything about the
They did
NBA
win.
draft a little bit, that should tell
I
you
know nothing
when
about
Syracuse won.
Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah,
Well, then it would have to be 2003.
correct. Syracuse won 2003 because LeBron and Melo, D-Wade,
Yeah.
Bosh were all a part of that 04 draft.
Okay. So 04 then.
Georgia Tech was the loser.
You told us Jarrett Jack played for Georgia Tech, which helps me none.
I got nothing here.
I don't either. We'll have to take an X on this one.
What does the hint Emeka Okafor do for you?
No, UConn.
There you go. So I'm still giving you a strike, but
Yeah.
We'll take
Okay.
it.
Okay.
2002. I couldn't even tell you who played on the team that won. They beat Indiana.
Indiana.
I mean, we would just have to be like NCAA tournament history buffs at this point to know
Yeah,
these.
yeah.
Like,
I don't know who that is either.
give us the teams.
Maryland and Indiana.
Well, Maryland.
Indiana,
because-
yeah, Maryland.
Yeah.
All right. Now I'll just give you both teams and we can see if you can tell me who won. 2001, Arizona, Duke.
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 2000, Florida, Michigan State.
Michigan State, because Florida hadn't won before they won too.
Yep. 1999, Duke, Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Yeah, I'll go
Yep.
Connecticut. Yeah.
Yep. 1998, Kentucky, Utah.
Well, it's Kentucky because Utah
Yeah.
didn't win.
There you
But the
go.
coach at Utah was the guy that ended up being the coach at SLU, and then he died.
RIP.
R.I.P.
1997, Arizona, Kentucky.
I don't know. I
Your guess?
Uh,
Which one do you think it is?
Well, has
or
Arizona ever
Kentucky?
won before?
yeah, they've won before, but I don't know. They've never not won. We'll go Arizona.
Oh, they're still riding with one strike. 1996, Kentucky, Syracuse.
Kentucky,
Kentucky.
Yep. 95, UCLA, Arkansas.
UCLA, Arkansas lost.
Yep. 1994, Arkansas, Duke.
Arkansas, because that's their only win.
Yep. Let's go. 93, North Carolina, Michigan.
I can't imagine Michigan won. Well, let's see. 93, they had what's their names? All the good players, Rose and Jalen
Fab-
Rose.
Yeah,
Fab
North
Four.
Carolina.
They lost because there's a documentary about it.
That
So
is
North
correct.
Carolina.
92, Michigan, Duke.
Well, Duke, because Michigan lost.
Yep. 91, Duke, Kansas.
Well, that's Duke because 91, 92 was Grant Hill and Christian Leitner.
Yep.
Yep.
1990, Duke, UNLV.
Well, also that's UNLV. UNLV because that's what motivated Grant Hill and Christian Leitner to win the next two.
1989, Michigan, Seton Hall.
Seton Hall's never won, so it's Michigan.
Correct. 1988, Kansas, Oklahoma.
I think it's Kansas because I don't think Oklahoma's won any time in the last 4 years.
That is correct. 1987, Syracuse, Indiana.
Well, that would have to be Indiana because Bob Knight.
The man's on a roll. 86, Louisville, Duke.
Oh no. Oh no. I don't recall this time and period. I was not born for 9 years. Louisville and who?
Duke.
Well, okay. Let's think about this. So
I'm
Duke-
honestly so impressed.
so Duke hadn't won with Mike Krzyzewski until Grant Hill and Christian Leitner. So we'll go with Louisville.
That's correct.
Okay.
1985, Villanova, Georgetown.
Nova.
Sure. We'll go Villanova.
That is correct. 1984, Georgetown, Houston.
It's probably Georgetown because
Georgetown.
John Thompson the second, before his son became the coach, I know won at some point. So it has to be Georgetown.
That is correct. Houston, NC State, 1983.
NC State,
NC
Jim
State.
Valvano.
Yeah.
Jimmy D.
1982.
Is that wait, hold on. Is that the 30 for 30 on that? I'm
There is
thinking
a
of?
30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Houston had the guy that coaches Houston now, Kelvin Sampson, on the team. Anyway, keep going.
1982, Georgetown, North Carolina.
Well,
Gotta be North Carolina.
yeah, because John Thompson, I just said a second ago, won, which is kind of a lucky guess because he could have won this one, but he only won one. So
Yep.
it's got to be North Carolina.
That is correct. 1981, Indiana, North Carolina.
Bobby Knight won
Bob
more
Knight.
than one, so I'll go Indiana.
Jeez, 1980.
I'm just thinking
UC
about that. Just makes me think of Parks and Rec and the Bobby Knight picture right behind Ron.
1980, UCLA, Louisville.
Dude, I didn't know Louisville was in it so much.
I have an answer here.
Okay, what is it?
Just because I think Adam has given us the winner first in like the last three.
I've been trying to be.
I know I'm trying to pick up on the pattern, but I think it's Louisville based on the pattern.
All right, we'll go Louisville.
It is Louisville. 1979, Michigan State, Indiana State.
See, he's going to try and trick us here.
lost.
He's going to try and
No,
trick us here, so
Indiana
it's
State
Michigan
lo-
State.
it
He's trying
is
to flip
because-
it.
Because Magic Johnson beat Larry Bird, and Magic Johnson went to Michigan State, and Larry Bird went to Indiana State, and Indiana State didn't win the national championship. So it's Magic. It's Michigan State.
Correct. 1978, Kentucky, Duke. In St. Louis, Missouri.
Well,
We'll never
When's the
host
last
a
time a
national
game's been
champion
in St.
game.
Louis?
huh?
When's the last time a national championship has been in St. Louis?
Oh, five.
Whatever that, yeah, 05. And we'll never
Bring
have
it
one
back.
again
Bring it
because
back.
of how much like, because of what championship weekends and stuff entail in the stadiums they put them in now.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but just softies.
All right, who were the teams?
Kentucky, Duke. 78.
How are we doing on time? Can we keep going?
I'm so impressed. So you guys got like
What are we
inside-
at? We're at 78.
you're in 1978, and
Let's try and get to 75 and call it.
Kentucky.
that is correct. 1977, North Carolina, Marquette.
Marquette, because they won at some point.
That is correct. 1976, Indiana, Michigan.
Not Michigan. Bob Knight again.
That is correct. 1975, Kentucky, UCLA.
John Wooden's got to win at some point, so UCLA.
Okay. 1974, North Carolina State, Marquette.
Well, I don't think Marquette won twice, so
Nah.
NC State.
That is correct.
Marquette's going to win this year.
1973, Memphis State, UCLA.
Well, Memphis has never won. Shout out Larry Fisher, my dad. So UCLA.
That is correct. 1972, UCLA, Florida State.
Well, here's the deal. I'll go ahead and nip this in the bud because I believe this is when John Wooden won like all the time. So I think it's going to be UCLA like 8 times in a row, 9 times in a row.
7 times in a row, UCLA until 1967. So me giving you guys just the 2 teams that played, you were able to go all the way back to 1967 with only getting 1 strike. That is
Dave
incredible.
carried the team though there. Listen.
Dude, I was
mean-
naming players and everything.
Wow.
You got a couple.
You shot from the hip on a cup like that. The pairing of you two would have done better than the pairing of me and Dave.
It's just those 07, 08 memories that I had. I remember watching that Florida game because it was like I remember the first time I had ever seen him cut down the net, and I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." And that memory somehow lodged in my brain.
Dude,
Remember
that
when I
was
said before
incredible.
that started that I wasn't good with remembering
Yeah.
champions?
And you guys didn't start.
We got
needing
on a
the-
roll.
You didn't even start needing the teams until like 2005.
All right, what do we got next? Because we got to be quick with this.
Do you want to? We'll post a video on social media. Everyone, you just tell us if you think
Yeah.
Chris is gonna die because how many birds he's been.
I've been seeing
lately.
a lot of birds, guys.
Yeah.
like
You'll
an
catch that on
alarming amount of
socials.
birds. So you'll see those videos.
4 days in a row.
Unbelievable.
Does anybody know how we're doing on time?
We're
think it's time
exactly
for-
an hour.
Yeah,
We're
it's time for
exactly
the
an hour.
dirty dozen.
The Dirt Dozen.
Wow.
That was electric.
Dude, I'm feeling good.
I can't believe. I'm so impressed.
Who wins this year, Dave?
Yeah, I mean,
Well, North
Tell
Carolina,
us.
probably.
you're holding out on us.
North Carolina, probably.
No, this will be the year that because I think a bunch of people are complaining that Michigan State even made the tournament.
They're gonna win.
It's like that year when Syracuse, everyone was like, how'd they even make it? And they went to the Final Four as like an 11 seed.
Are we seeing this right here?
Yep, we're seeing it.
Yeah.
Starting with NFL, same thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thomas Jones was one of the 2 running backs to break 800 rushing yards on this 2010 AFC team that won 10 games and made the playoffs. That's the Patriots.
I don't think so.
I don't think it's
We're gonna skip that one.
I don't know who Thomas Jones is.
I
to be
gotta
honest.
think
Tommy
on that
J?
one.
All right.
Yeah, not the Patriots.
Playing alongside Joey Votto, this Reds right fielder totaled 233 home runs from 2008 to 2016, made 3 All-Star teams, and was 2-time Silver Slugger before getting traded to the Mets.
Jay
Dave.
Bruce. Jay Bruce.
Jay.
Adam, do you agree?
I do agree. Bruce.
Select.
Bruce.
College
I
basketball.
mean, if you guys get this one wrong,
After beating Boise State in a 13 seed first 4 play-in game, this Atlantic 10 school upset 4 seed Kansas State and beat 12 seed Ole Miss to make the 2013 Sweet 16. FAU?
No.
Dave?
VCU.
Oh, that's kind of right.
Adam, do you agree?
I mean, I don't know how I could go against you.
What?
Oh,
No.
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 I have no
No.
guesses.
Cars.
It's gonna be
Introduced in
Snake
1994, the
When we go
Avalon was
back,
a
it's gonna be-
full-size sedan model made by this auto manufacturer,
Toyota.
but discontinued in the United States. That's a Toyota
That's a
Avalon. Great
Toyota.
car. Great car. Reliable.
When we double dip on that, it's going to be St. Joe's, but I'm so mad. Oh my gosh.
This is the guy from Breaking Bad. What's his name?
That is Bryan Cranston.
Bryan
And
Cranston.
what's his name from Ted Lasso?
That's what I thought. Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah, Jason Sudeikis. Bryan Cranston.
You have, Mr. Cranston.
No, it's a Y. isn't
Yeah, I
it?
think
That's
it's
what I
BR
thought. That's why I tried the first time.
Bryan.
Cran.
It's dead.
And
I think it's
Jason
Sudeikis.
It looks like the shape of his head.
And the hair.
yeah,
And the-
SUD.
Yeah, there he is.
Bang! That's our first mashup, guys. Snacks and candy with its name on the packaging. What Swiss chocolate manufacturer makes Lindor truffles?
Oh shoot, I can see it. I can see the bag.
This is a Toblerone. No.
No, I don't think that's what I've seen on the
Is
back.
it Nestle? Does Nestle make
They're not
Lindor?
Swiss though, are
They
they?
are.
They are?
They are. But I don't know if they make Lindor.
I thought Lindor made.
I thought it
Lindor.
started with a G.
Geneva?
GOT
Convention?
something.
Giacono? Giacchini? Uh, Goldfish?
Gorton's?
It's not G. Should we go with
Mm,
Nestle?
Do we want to come back?
Sure. Television. After some smaller roles, including the episode of Entourage, this Colombian actress had a breakout role playing Gloria.
Sophia Vergara Fagares, whatever her name is.
Sophia, no, F. It is.
Sophia
Bragas?
Vergara. Yeah, her.
Vergara. Modern Family.
Halle Berry won Oscar for Best Actress for this 2011 romantic drama that also starred Billy Bob Thornton, Heath Ledger, and Sean Combs.
Did he? Did he was in it?
Was it Bad News Bears?
Romantic best actress.
Heath Ledger. and Bad News Bears.
And P. Diddy were in Bad News Bears.
Heath Ledger.
Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh, is it? No, it's not anger management, right?
That's not a romantic drama, is it?
Kind of. Don't they get married at the end of it?
What was that? Billy Bob Thornton was in that really famous movie that my parents like it. It's called like Sling Blade or something. And he won some award.
Heath Ledger is the one that I feel like I
How
should
old
know
is
what
he?
it
Like
is.
15?
Skip. We don't.
Skip
I don't,
that.
even, I
Skip.
don't even have a guess.
Music.
Yeah. Kiki, do you love me? Are you riding? That is
But what's the song?
oh gosh, it's Hotline Bling, isn't it?
No.
It's
It's
not. I know, and it's on the same album as that.
Kiki, do you love me? From beside me.
Oh my gosh.
And I need you.
And I'm down for you.
Because the new me is really just a me.
Uh,
I'm running out of options.
oh my gosh. This is embarrassing. We should know this. Uh,
And I'm down for what? Because
Is
I
it down
need
for-
you. And I'm down for
down
you.
for what? Is it down
Not
for
down
what?
for what, but type down for and see what comes up.
Turn down for what?
Turned down for what?
No. Okay, then it's not that.
Um,
And I'm down for you. And I need you. And I'm down for
Kiki,
you.
do you love me?
This is gonna bother me.
I'm never gonna think beside me, and I want you, and I need you.
Like you know it's after and I need you because that's when they kill it.
And I'm down for you. And I'm
Yeah.
down for you.
Because the new me is really just a me.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm down for you all. No. And I'm down for
And
you.
I'm down for y'all. And I don't win that hotline bling. Shoot. I don't know. I should know this, Drake. I know
We
Drake
should
songs.
Bring that
know
ass
this.
back. Bring that ass back.
I don't think this bring that ass back.
It went viral on the socials. A lot of people were making this videos where they were dancing next to their car as it was rolling.
I don't. It's going to be a song that doesn't have the title in the name of it.
I got it. It was in my feelings.
He did it. He
All
did
right.
it.
Thomas Jones was one
Okay.
of the two running backs to break
2010.
800 rushing yards. 2010 AFC team. It's got to be the Falcons.
They're
It's
in the
not
NFC.
that's not an AFC team.
So that's a
All right,
bold
now,
choice for
It's
sure.
just a
All right,
running,
all
it's a
right,
running
all
joke
right,
at this
all
point.
right.
I gotta say,
All
I
right,
gotta say a team in the wrong conference.
All right, AFC. So it's not the Patriots. The Bills. I don't think so.
I don't think in 2010.
The Jets. I don't think so.
Who was good
Maybe.
in 2010?
Lions? No.
And that's NFC.
We were in 10th. We were in 10th grade, 2010.
10th
So that would have
grade.
been
The Eagles.
That's NFC. Not the Chiefs. All right. By division. Not the Patriots, not the Bills, not the Jets,
Not the Chargers.
not the Dolphins. Okay, the AFC West, not the Chiefs, not the Chargers, not the Raiders.
I don't even know who Thomas Jones is.
I don't either.
Heck, maybe it is the Chargers. Because it says one of two running backs to break 100. So he was probably the secondary back. 2010, that would have been peak LaDainian Tomlinson.
Not peak, but it was LaDainian Tomlinson.
Sure.
Just fired off.
That's all right.
May have been the Colts
Ooh, that's a good guess.
with Edgerrin James. All right, Swiss chocolate. You want to go Nestle? I don't think
Sure.
it's Nestle.
I mean, we don't have any other
And we don't
guesses,
have a
so
guess.
might as well guess
movies.
it.
We gotta get this one. This one, Billy Bob Thornton. We should know this.
Well, Billy Bob Thornton's best movie that won awards was that movie Sling Blade, but I don't know.
See,
Let's
I'm
go
trying
for
to
it.
think what he. I'm trying to think what Heath
2001.
Ledger. I mean, it's not Sling Blade, but because
Have you ever seen that movie?
no, but that doesn't sound like the name of a romantic comedy.
I don't know. I don't think it is.
Oh, romantic drama. I guess it's not romantic comedy, but
Yeah.
Heath Ledger was
Brokeback Mountain.
It would be him and Jake Gyllenhaal. That is a romantic drama, though.
I don't know. I have no guess. I'm not good
Yeah.
at movies. We know
Just
that.
fire off Sling Blade, fire off Nestle. Then we'll use our double dip. We'll do who Dave said for the basketball, and then we'll see how we did. You looked
He was
it up.
also in Love Actually.
You looked it up.
Oh,
Oh, no, you didn't look it up. Just fire. It's yeah. Just type in Nestle.
we're talking about the red things, the
Yeah.
red little things. That's
Yeah.
not Nestle.
I know it's not, but I don't know what it is.
It's like the cursive right above it.
I know it's right above it, and I thought it started with a G, but apparently it doesn't start with a G. Lint.
Linden's,
L-I-N-D,
yeah, Linden's
yes,
or whatever that
yes,
is.
Yes. Yep. Lint.
This?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that.
That's it.
I don't know why that popped in my head. And then double dip and do or you can either do the Colts or you can do St. Joseph.
I feel better about St. Joseph.
This one.
Yeah. If that's wrong, no, wait. Wait. Don't do it. I think, is it George Mason? I think it might be George Mason.
Should we go Colts instead?
No, because I have no idea if that's right. Just type in George Mason. St. Joe's didn't do that. It's George Mason.
It was still wrong.
If it's St. Joe's, I should have just followed what I thought originally.
And
Not
then
originally.
You scroll
Second.
down to the bottom
Yeah. I'm mad.
to keep going. View correct.
LaSalle.
Oh my gosh. I was so wrong.
Kansas
I'm
City
so mad.
Chiefs.
Was that
What?
Tommy Jones?
Monsters Ball.
I've
Yeah,
never-
right.
Would have never gotten to
I've never even
Monsters
heard
Ball.
of that.
Never even heard of
Oh
it.
my god.
All right.
Not our best performance, boys.
That's all right. We
Well,
crushed it before
I was gonna
that.
say you freaking killed college basketball, so you were all trivia'd out.
Disappointing on
Hey,
that.
strong pod. Strong pod.
Strong pod.
Strong pod, strong friends.
Love
Exactly.
that. That's what we do here.
As always. Chris, you
Uh-huh.
got something?
I was just going to apologize for posting late and for bad format, and I think we got it cleaned up. So look for an on time and good looking podcast this week.
Whoop whoop.
Love
As
it.
always, it's nightly nonsense.
I'm a beautiful butterfly.
See ya.
Same.